look, we always get excited at the beginning of a year, but have you ever been this excited for a year in the last 10 years?
Um, no, and I famously get too excited,
Yeah.
which people like to remind me constantly. But but I mean, it's hard not to be excited, right? When you landed the number one
Yeah.
quarterback in the portal, you landed the number one running back in the portal. You're coming off the class that we had, and then you start to see some of the pieces they sprinkle in with a Sam Brown and Elijah Austin on the outside, and it just feels like if there was a year, this is it. It looks like Mario. It feels like Mario has been setting the groundwork. Everyone expected the house to be completed last year when we just still had framing up. Like, wasn't no drywall up. It was just framing. He got some drywall, and then he got a fancy chandelier with Cam Ward. Yeah, he didn't just put a chandelier up. He put a fancy chandelier up, and he started addressing all the problems. We were like, the offensive line when Mario took over, and Mirabal said, "I'll give my arm and my leg if I don't fix this problem."
Absolutely.
And look at the last couple classes. But look at that offensive line.
But have you gone back, and I don't have this, but I have gone back and looked when Mario took over the team, the defensive line and offensive line. If you look at that roster he had when he got in and now, it's like night and day. It's
size
insane.
alone, just size alone. I mean, one of the best ways to see the big difference is look at linebacker. Look at the height and size of the linebackers from the previous regime and some of the seniors we still had on the team last year versus Popo Aguirre coming in looking like a defensive end at linebacker. We got a freshman, Hayes. They call him Hitman for a reason. Like, like just the size and the athletic, kind of mold they go for. You look at Markel Bell, 6'9", which, I mean, he's standing next to Judd Anderson, who's 6'7", and he dwarfs him. So 6'9" on paper.
Yes.
Just the size of the athletes that they have in the building now, or just that we're on the table for when it comes to recruiting. You guys spoke about Justin Scott. We're not on the table for Justin Scott 4 years ago. That hat's not on that table, let alone flipping him. The hat's not making it to the table. So you can see that Mario's changed the culture.
And I love how people are like, well, Miami pays players. Okay. Every college is playing players now. It's just the name of the game. And I get so upset that schools like an Ohio State or a Florida, schools that have money are like, oh, well, they're buying players. It's like, okay, you are too.
So are you. Listen, I live in Texas, people. All right.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about buying players,
Longhorns.
UT, they had a fleet of Lamborghinis for a visit. Sir. NIL, to me, that's the argument when you lose a recruit now. But everyone has money. Now, if you're North Dakota State and you lose a recruit to Miami, I'll hear your argument. But Ohio State's got money. Florida's got money. Florida State has money. All these schools have money. So at some point, if two schools are offering $1 million, I'm hypothetically speaking, the money's not that big of a factor. Now, it was a factor when it was under the table. You can only get it at certain places.
Yes.
But if you can get it everywhere, if I'm applying for a job and they're offering me the same salary, so now I'm looking at other things. How's my life going to be living there? Do I get along with these coaches? Who else are they recruiting? It's not just money. If it was just money, Texas would have been winning national championships from the second NIL became a thing.
Yep.
No one would be able to beat Texas A&M. They bought the number one class 2 years in a row and haven't won anything with it. So it's not just money.
Now, I kind of mentioned it when you first signed on, but you were on the show yet. You were in the waiting room. Do you think a lot of these players that, at 3 stars, the Canes fans go after, maybe there are 3 going into 4-star. Do you think if they have a 10-win season, since this is more of a question, not about the Canes, but just the business of football now, that they'll drop some people, colleges will drop some 3 and lower 4 stars? Because if you have a winning season, people are going to be flipping left and right for the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate things that happens. Now, it happened to a couple guys in the class last year.
Yep.
Mario's usually really good about that, though. He will back channel, help the young man find his new destination, and then let the kid flip. So it doesn't even look like Miami dropped him. It looked like so-and-so flipped. So every time you see somebody flip, all flips aren't created equal.
No.
Sometimes it's okay, we may not have this spot for you anymore. However, let me help you go back to your number 2 school or your number 3 school, maybe find you a good landing spot. I think that's why Mario doesn't like to front load his classes. If you ever notice, he starts off very slow. I think he's very deliberate about that, because the last thing you want to do is get a defensive tackle in. He's on board, he's committed. He took the pictures. He's walking around his high school with all the gear on for half a year. And then you have to unfortunately tell him, okay, this 6'7", 350-pound kid that runs a 4.6 now wants to come here. So unfortunately, so I think that's why Mario doesn't grab everybody at once. It's calculated, why grab 5 receivers now? And I may alienate the 5-star I'm really trying to get, because now he's looking at the class going, there's no room for me anymore. So you do have to play some chess. And unfortunately, like you said, Michael, it does happen. It happens where, look, we didn't even know we had access to X, Y, and Z beforehand. Look, they win 10 games. A lot of people are worried receiver has been slow. Let me tell you what happens if Cam Ward comes out firing and throws for 300 3 out of 4 games with 4 TDs, and phone gonna start ringing.
Yeah,
we know how young men are. They want to see it first. A lot of them want to see it first, especially receivers. They're very flashy. They're very ego driven. That's why Ohio State's been landing all these receivers. It's not because people want to go to Ohio. No offense, but Ohio versus Miami for a vacation. Where are we going?
Yeah, but they put people in the NFL for receiver.
Yes. And they've been putting these first round receivers in year after year, so it's hard to argue with a young man that says that's my path to the league. Now, I just think the path is there in Miami, sunshine, rainbows, boats. Right? It's not hard.
I think the winning is important. Like, obviously, getting you in the NFL, of course, but we still put people in the NFL. It's just, but we just haven't been winning, and we haven't been winning in the worst of ways in some cases, so, but I also hear what you're saying at the beginning too. There's everything I read, the people are like, man, all the talent's there, but they just don't trust us yet. And so they're not sure where to, like the rankings, the coaches poll that just came out and stuff, and things like that. It's like you said, we got the number 1 quarterback, number 1 running back out of the portal and stuff. And still they're like, I don't know, but I need this game to come like now, the Florida game. And
100%.
I'm very excited. We have this a tough game to lead off. And no offense to Florida A&M that we're not playing A&M, because that tells us nothing. Like Florida in the swamp, we'll know pretty quick. What we have, or what we have as far as our
they'll be battle tested. Going to the swamp for your first game. Yeah. And I've famously continuously said Canes by 20, because I believe that, because I think that's what you need.
I think I'm with you.
I think they gotta win, right? You can't survive.
Yeah,
you can't because of the high expectation in the room. If you survive, you let that seed of doubt of are we as good as we thought we were going to be?
I don't want
happy that after 1 week.
I'm so happy you said that, because in my mind, we're going to do predictions like closer the game week, but in my mind right now, 21 points, lowest, and they may win by more. I honestly don't think it's even going to be close. I just don't, man.
You guys want to hear what I've been telling everybody?
What?
And everyone thinks I'm joking about this. All right, so I say Cam Ward in street clothes by the 4th quarter. And
street clothes.
I love it.
In flip-flops, doing TikTok dances in the 4th quarter, because I feel like that's how you need to start this season, with everything that we've acquired, with the class we had last year, with the class we're building this year. All those kids are going to this game. They're all going. So I feel like the best way to silence any critics, because everyone's worried, is Mario going to let the offense loose? Are they really going to be able to sling it? Week 1, you shut all that up when you blow this team out.
Well,
now you survive that game, and then all of us have nasty comment sections on Twitter.
See, I disagree with that. Yes, nasty comments will come either way.
Yes.
But even if they survive, to me, that's a big win, because I think they're going to roll the next 3-4 games, because they have basically like the next. So they'll be 4-0 going into is that Virginia Tech?
Virginia Tech, yeah.
Yeah. So I think either way, but I really feel that Florida does not know what's coming down there. Like, it's just
a gut feeling. I don't know why. I just feel it.
And I don't even think it's the offense. I think it's the defense is going to be so just. I mean, Tyler Barron and all. I mean, it's just going to be mad. No quarterback is going to have time to throw. And my thing with the defensive backs, everybody's making a big deal with that. Let's be honest. I love Cam. I love the people that were back there, but there was a lot of busts. A lot of busts. I would rather cornerbacks that didn't bust and safeties that didn't bust, because if you don't bust and give that defensive line and linebackers a chance, that front seven to get to the quarterback, it's over. It's over.
So you can almost see that by the way they built the defense this year, right? Lance Guidry said, okay, I'm very young in the secondary, so here's what I'll do. I will front load this pass rush. Good luck getting the ball out. Like that's how we're going to shut your receiver down is Ruben Bain.
Yes.
And you can't double Ruben Bain now because Tyler Barron on the outside. And if he gets tired, Akeem Mesidor. And if he gets tired, Elijah Alston. And if he gets tired, then you got the young guns, Cole McConaughey. You got guys from last year. We have such a deep rotation on the front line that I'm not so much worried about the secondary because you got to get the ball out of your hands first. And if they press and try to throw off these receivers, even give Ruben Bain another half second,
it's over.
I feel it's over. Yeah. I feel like that will help us. And then the more the season goes, the young corners will be battle tested. And I think they'll be able to play a little bit more free. But early in the season, pressure, and force some early throws. Help them out.